We are really thrilled today to be honoring an outstanding young alumnus. And in 2014, we added to the award program for the foundation this award, and really exemplifying a young alumni who shows to all of us what it means to truly be an effective servant leader. And it's to a alumnus under the age of 70, 35, I'm sorry, I misread that, who's demonstrated excellence in their profession, field, has demonstrated exceptional service to their community, to the public, humanity, embodying the mission, spirit, and pride of Phi Kappa Theta. And this year's recipient has balanced all of these elements after moving to the United States at an early age. Brother Nguyen is the epitome of the American dream, a first-generation college graduate, a recipient of the Gate Foundation Scholarship, a realtor, father, and husband. He's taken his own life experiences and successes and applied them to ensure that he continues to serve others, and that is certainly reflective in his life's work. His work with the Seattle Children's Hospital demonstrates how we all can make an impact on the world around us. So let's take a look at what drives Brother Nguyen.
Our family immigrated here in 1990, and our first Christmas, I can still remember looking back, we were at a food bank, and we're standing there waiting so I could get a used toy for Christmas, and just that feeling, my mom, like, she was always that person that inspired me to think differently, think outside the box, and made the positive impact in any situation. Okay, what are you going to do as a legacy or give back, right? Like, it's not about just writing a check, it's sweat equity that means a lot. And anybody could, like, I think, could say it, but doing it is a difference. So I thought to myself, you know what, like, let's really do a toy drive. And I never had a nice toys as kids, and how hard would it be? Like, I was a kid, but I was healthy. These kids, I mean, on Christmas, they're gonna spend a day at the hospital, their brothers and sisters at the hospital. So it made me realize just then that, you know, let's do this. So our first year, you know, I was so nervous. What if no one comes, right? When you do something that no one has ever done in life, is you're nervous, right? And you're scared of failure. Like, man, I don't want to fail. I don't want to look bad. But if you're the first one doing it, how could you really fail, right? Like, I wish I would have just known that at any age. If you're the first one doing this and you're trying and you're showing up, like, there is no such thing as failure. You're just learning. My vision now is someday we're going to have a full semi-truck full of toys that we deliver to Seattle Children's. And it's just the power of influence. You don't have to do it yourself, right? But if we can inspire one other person to do it, or others along the way, we don't have to do it all. Like, we could do it together. Yeah.
Brother Nguyen continues to serve society, fraternity, and God, and is a great example of a brother who has truly found his passion and purpose. Please join me in recognizing Brother Nguyen as the 2018 recipient of our Outstanding Young Alumnus Award.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate this. Good morning, brothers of Phi Kappa Theta and all of our guests. I would like to say thank you to our President Adrian, Jeff, and our National Board, and Robert Riggs for having me and giving me this opportunity to be here. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here at this moment. And truth be told, when I was growing up, I never thought I would have the opportunity to even attend college, let alone be part of an amazing fraternity such as ours. When some of my pledge brothers found out that I would be speaking today, they joked and said, "Bro, how much did you have to pay the board for you to be speaking up there?" So this moment, right now, standing here in front of each and every one of you, is a God's grace upon my life. In writing this message, I asked myself, knowing what I know now, what do I wish I would have known in my earlier years? And this lesson came to mind. The greatest gift in life is the opportunity to experience the peaks and valleys that life has to offer. And it's in those valleys that we learn life-changing lessons, a chance to become a better version of ourselves. Coming out of college, I wanted to show the world that I've arrived. Buying the fancy cars, living in an elegant home, wearing the expensive watches, and of course paying the bar tabs to all my friends and bros. I was the man. Life was good. In the spring of 2007, I'm sitting there in my glass panel office looking out at the Seattle skyline view. I closed my biggest real estate deal, providing me with my first of many $10,000 paychecks. I was 23 years old, working for Countrywide Home Loans, on track to making well over six-figure income, thinking to myself, this is easy. I figured out the key to success. In reality, I was an idiot to even think that success could come so easy. In the months ahead, the crumbling of the entire United States economy started to take place. Our company, the number one mortgage bank in the US at the time, saw our stock plummet. This compound effect rippled across a dozen world other banks, which ultimately led to the biggest stock market crash since the Great Depression. Reality started sinking in. I was going to lose my job. My expenses were piling up. Faced with no money, combined with an immature instant gratification mindset, my credit cards maxed out with over $30,000, $40,000 in debt. I found myself emotionally drained, on the brink of financial ruin and future bankruptcy. On the Saturday morning after Christmas, I snuck into that same glass panel office to pack up all my personal belongings so that no one could see me cry. I was completely broke, weeks away from financial ruin, and was too prideful to tell anyone, not even my own family. As I finished packing up, I picked up my last personal item in my office. It was a vision board that my mother and I had made when she was in the hospital. It was a picture frame of magazine photos and how I envisioned my future to look like. Little did I know this vision board would change my life. At that moment, tears started rolling down my eyes as I reflect back to my childhood and wonder, how on earth did I get to this point in life? I've lost my ways, God. How am I ever going back to normal? And what is normal? A recent death of a family member, I lost my job, broke. I've had hit rock bottom. As I sat there crying, I started reflecting back to my childhood and thought about our family journey. I was born in Vietnam, and after the war, the Communist Party took over South Vietnam and had taken our home, money, and assets. When I was 7 years old, my parents realized they had to leave, or our lives would never be the same. Prior to coming to the US, we were placed in an immigration camp in Thailand. Soggy rice and watered-down soup was our daily meal. To pass time, some of the other children and I would steal used syringes from the trash and use them as water guns. Pretty resourceful, right? At night, they would shut off all the lights to the camp, and we slept on a concrete floor. My mom would say to me, "It's only a temporary setback. It will all get better." As long as my mom was next to me, I knew life was going to be okay. Our family arrived in the United States with $80 in our pocket, but our hearts were filled with hopes and dreams. Unfortunately, within a month, we found ourselves evicted and homeless. I can still remember being that Christmas day, being at the food bank, waiting for a used toy so that I could just celebrate Christmas like any other child. I remember my mom whispering in my ear, "Son, have you decided which toy you're gonna get from that used box of toys over there? That teddy bear looks pretty nice. You know, if it's still there when it's your turn, you might want to pick that one." My mom's positive outlook on life was second to none. That teddy bear meant everything to me. That night, my mom taught me a profound lesson that our attitude and perception will often determine our outcomes in life. Growing up, our family lived in low income, government subsidized housing. In grade school, kids would make fun of me because I couldn't speak English and the smell from my used clothes. As a byproduct of my environment, I found myself hanging out with the wrong crowd, gangs, getting into fights, drugs, getting shot at, and even held at gunpoint by rival gang members. My future was going nowhere, and everybody gave up on me. Everybody except my mom. Many times, we behave a certain way because we don't realize our true value. We don't believe in ourselves, and we end up discounting our full potential. There are moments in life, though, that we come to a crossroad, and we need to look at ourselves in the mirror and decide which path to follow. After coming home from a street fight one evening, I found my mom sitting at our dinner table, just crying. I asked her what's wrong. My mom told me she had terminal cancer and had less than 3 years to live. Her dying wish was for me to just attend college. Little did I know my life would change after that night. Next, the irony is, how on earth was I going to get into college with my D average from 9th grade? I mean, what college would even bother looking at a student college admission with a 2.4 GPA? Well, to save for college, I started working part-time after school. And after work, I would spend endless hours just studying, just to get that GPA up. And I did. I 4.0 for 3 years straight and ended up with a 3.7 GPA. I graduated as one of the top of my high school and got accepted to the University of Washington. Yet, despite of all my hard work, our family couldn't afford for us to attend college. Sometimes, when we lose hope, we have to have faith that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Miraculously, that year was the first year that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation started their education initiative. Through the funding of the Gates Foundation and Preston Gates, the College Success Foundation, I received a full scholarship to any college of my choice. During my sophomore year, I was introduced to our local Phi Kappa chapter at the University of Washington. From my past, anybody could clearly see why I wasn't really college material, let alone being the right pedigree for a fraternity brother. I will never forget my first rush. It was a pizza party. Later, I would come to find out that I was the only pledge member that didn't rush for the social, the academic, legacy, or all the amazing aspects of our fraternity. I came because my roommate told me there was pizza in room 247. However, I met some amazing members of Phi Kappas that I was inspired to become. They were focused, driven, and fun to be around with at night. That quarter, I pledged for Phi Kappa Theta and later crossed as an alpha class and became a part of this remarkable fraternity and our brotherhood. But just when my life was getting better, my worst fear occurred. During the middle of my sophomore year, my mom's fight was coming to an end. As I stood next to my mom's hospital bed one night crying, knowing that the next breath could be her last, I pleaded with her to just hang on so that she could see me graduate college, a promise she's made if I just turn my life around. I swore to her that I'll make a positive difference in this world, Mom. I felt that without her, I couldn't go on. My mom was always there for me. She was my rock. As my mom passed away right before my eyes, I felt alone, abandoned, and empty inside. That week, I dropped out of college. I couldn't think of a reason to finish school if she was no longer here. I was heartbroken and felt discouraged. The one person who believed in me all my life was now gone. Like many of my brothers here, we've all experienced true brotherhood, one moment or another. For me, it occurred during my mother's funeral. I had not slept in 4 days, physically and emotionally just drained, and my purpose for living was gone. Part of our family tradition, when a family member passes away, the other family and their members would carry the casket to the grave. When it came time to carry my mother's casket, even with the help of our family and everyone else, we didn't have enough manpower. But at that moment, about a dozen other Phi Kappa brothers walked up and helped carry my mother's coffin to her burial site. I would never forget that moment for the rest of my life. I know as we sit here as Phi Kappa brothers, we may come from different walks of life, backgrounds, and families. However, this amazing brotherhood bond of Phi Kappa Theta unites us all together as brothers. And in life, it's those dark hours when we're all alone, broken, and feel like there's no hope. Those are the chapters that help define who we really are and what we're really truly made of. Even though my mom was not around, the support from my family, brothers, friends, and mentors was enough for me to realize that there were people out there who still believed in me. A few weeks later, I decided to continue the journey to finish college in honor of my mom. One thing that I've learned in life is our purpose can come from our desired pleasures or from the pains of our past. Don't run away from the pains of your past, for those pains will help you build character and leads you to new beginnings. Our past does not equal our future unless we stay there. We can always learn from the past and become the better version of ourselves. The two biggest pains of my life was seeing my mom pass away at the hospital and not being able to live out her passion, such as giving back to children. Somehow, God aligned these painful setbacks to inspire me to help children in their time of needs when they're at the hospital with their families. 5 years ago, inspired by my mom's passion for helping children and painful memories of her death at the hospital, my wife and I started our annual toy drive for Seattle Children's Hospital. With the help of my mentor Saul, friends, family, and now the whole community, our annual toy drive has helped thousands of families every year. About 2 years ago, a mom wrote us a letter. Colin Group, you might not know me or my family, but one of the toys you gave during your toy drive was the last toy that my son had before he died. Thank you for the little gift that gave him so much joy. So you're probably wondering what happened to me after that stock market crashed and did I go bankrupt? Well, I survived. I didn't go bankrupt. And growing from those lessons I've learned along the way. Believe me, I'm still making honest mistakes each and every day and learning from them. Today, I'm grateful to be living the life my mom has always believed I was capable of achieving. The life her and I put together in my dream board. We have our beautiful daughter, Raylia, live in our beautiful home, and I'm truly blessed with amazing mentors and people in my life. I'm one of the top realtors in the #1 office in all of the Pacific Northwest, and the Colin Group is now nationally recognized as one of the top in the real estate industry. I love what I do, which is now helping people find their housing goals. And as I look around the room with my family, friends, and all my brothers by my side, and now all of you guys, I now realize I will never be alone again. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.